Salvador Dali biography. Salvador Domingo Felipe Jacinto Dali I Dominic was born on the 11th of May 1904 in Figueres, Spain, and even from a very young age, he was destined to become one of the most prolific artists of all time. The striking and somewhat bizarre images depicted in his paintings solidified his name in the surrealist movement, and his artwork is still revered by many acclaimed art critics to this day. Dali spent his childhood between Figueres and the family summer home in the coastal fishing village of Cadaqués, both of which were to feature prominently in his artwork. His brother, who died 9 months before Dali was born from gastroenteritis and also named Salvador, also featured in his paintings. His parents encouraged his talent and even built him his first art studio in Cadaqués, where he spent a great deal of time producing impressive charcoal drawings. In 1919, his first art exhibition was held in the Municipal Theatre of Figueres. Following the death of his mother to breast cancer in 1921, he attended the Academia de San Fernando in Madrid, where he was heavily influenced by several different artistic movements such as metaphysics and cubism. It wasn't long before his talent as an artist and his flamboyant, eccentric ways gained a great deal of attention. After being expelled from school for being disruptive and egotistical, Dali took several trips to Paris where he met renowned intellectuals and painters such as Pablo Picasso and Joan Miró, the latter of whom introduced him to the surrealist movement. From 1929 onwards, Dali produced many surrealist paintings that are often described as collages of his dreams and subconscious thoughts. This world-renowned painting, often called the Soft Watches or the Melting Clocks, was a clear example of Dali's unique talent as an artist. The artist would collaborate regularly with other members of the surrealist movement, but their opinions would regularly clash, both on artistic matters but also around political views. He was not someone who could tailor his opinions or discipline himself to avoid these confrontations, and perhaps secretly even enjoyed causing controversy, just as he would write across the rest of his life, from when he was a child and excluded from school to his latter years as an artist. As well as his talent for painting, he was recognized as being eccentric, wearing odd clothing and sporting a flamboyant mustache influenced by one of his heroes, the Spanish master painter Diego Velázquez. His controversial behavior started to overshadow his magnificent talent as an artist, and the critics became more concerned with his acts of nonconformity than his artwork. In 1934, a trial was held and Dali was expelled from the surrealist group. Despite his expulsion, he continued to produce highly rated surrealist paintings such as Swans Reflecting Elephants and Metamorphosis of Narcissus, both of which were completed in 1937. He participated in surrealist art exhibitions into the 1940s. While World War II enveloped Europe, Dali continued to produce breathtaking pieces of art, and in 1941, he had his own exhibition in the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art in New York. There has been a huge amount said by a variety of sources over the years regarding Dali, and it is very helpful to have this authorized account of his life with which to compare these other, unconfirmed opinions. After returning home in 1948 with his wife, Dali spent the next 15 years creating 19 large canvases that incorporated optical illusions, geometry and surrealist images. Between 1960 and 1974, Dali helped to build the Teatro Museo in Figueres, where many of his paintings can still be seen today. Confined to a wheelchair following a house fire, Dali lived out his last few years in relative seclusion. Physical disabilities have challenged even the most significant artists, remembering how Matisse worked on his cutouts in his later year. Dali would continue to do whatever he could as his health slowly deteriorated in the 1980s. Having been fitted for a pacemaker in 1986, Dali could not shake off his heart problems and was hospitalized again in 1988. He would eventually die in 1989 of heart failure and respiratory problems. In a fitting gesture, he remains buried in the crypt below his theater museum in Figueres and continues to attract followers to the site even today. After his international impact over so many years, it is charming to find him now lying just a few hundred meters from his original family home, as well as just across the road from where he received his baptism and First Communion.